Shane, what is the biggest problem with AVP?
Watchability. Now,
I think accessibility of watching.
Yes, accessibility. People cannot find the AVP. Like, there's a tournament in Virginia this weekend. I don't think there's more than 150 people who know there's a tournament going on this weekend.
And Travis was the only person that streamed it on
yeah,
Sandcast.
the entire time.
And it was only
Players
his games.
don't stream any of their games because they don't want their film out there.
AVP does not like us, so
Really?
AVP doesn't like us.
No.
they
There's a lot
don't
of people that
respond to
don't
anything
like us.
from us.
AVP, man, get your heads out of your butts and figure out how to make beach volleyball a better sport. Absolutely. You have to live that lifestyle. You have to embrace that lifestyle. It feels like the AVP is trying to make it something that it never was and never should be.
What are they trying to make it?
Like a corporate kind of like...
Yes.
You can handle the heat. Yeah. You can handle the heat.
Booyaka Shah, welcome back to another episode of Can't Handle the Heat. It's your boy G Swizz. Joined by my brother, Chokesy. How we doing, brother?
Doing great.
Good man. Good
Couldn't
man.
feel better.
Just had the 4Eyes 4-man tournament. Before we get into that, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and also sponsor the tournament of the 4Eyes, allvolleyball.com. For all your volleyball needs, go to them. Oos for 20% off. Link in the bio. Fast shout out to them. Before we get into it here, just want to introduce our two lovely guests. To my left, the champion of the first ever 4-man 4Eyes tournament, the Evan Cory. Thank you, Evan. And of course, right across from me, the legendary stroker himself, Shane. Strokey, how we doing, Strokey?
Why, thank you, Gage. It was a fantastic tournament. It was a great day. Evan, congrats on the win. I took a beat down from him in pool play. 11-5. It was pretty close for about 15 minutes. We got it to about 5-all, and Rosie made a little run. Couldn't hold on there. So
Pretty stacked.
The Rosie Skyball is just the game changer and everything. We had like super tight games, and then Rosie he had like on the north side. Whenever he's on the north side of the court,
it's over.
He rips these Skyballs and he just goes in like 4-point runs. It was like so easy after that.
Would say he's the most consistent skyballer. Like
Down
best
there.
consistent.
Down there yesterday, I mean, yeah, for the like he hit
In the
him
U.S.,
without-
he is by far like the best Skyballer still in the entire country, for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of guys who can skyball really well.
Like who?
It's an old man at 21st Street named Mango,
Mango.
who makes every skyball.
Well, his are like ridiculous because it's like
It's a knuckleball.
it's a knuckle Skyball, which no one else has in the entire world.
I feel like
Correct.
it's hard to have, if you have a knuckleball. It's hard to like, for example, if you have a spin, you can like, okay, I can focus on these two things, try and get the side of the ball. For knuckle, you're hitting it. I don't know.
I don't even know how he hits it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No idea. But back to the topic of Sean Rosenthal. That dude, even though he's old, beat up, injuries, the guy still can play. He's so good, man. He dug so many balls, made so many crazy plays. It was so impressive. And Evan having Sean was a game changer. Him having that guidance and experience on his team was enough for him to dominate.
Dude, yeah.
And
Dude.
those hands.
Yeah, no, the hands. It took like I had texted him 3 times, no response. I talked to him one time, and then literally like 4 days ago on the Strand, I'm walking down. I'm like, Sean, can we get you for the event, please? He's like, all right, fine. And then he came up to me after. He's like, I'm very glad that we ran into each other that day. I'm like, all right, good. But yeah, we were stoked to have him down there. Rosie, he's really good people. He's a really good fours player.
And then
He's a legend. I mean, 2-time Olympian, Player of the Year, multiple times. He was World Player of the Year at least one time.
I think, and then you also had Luke the Legend, of course.
Luke the Legend. And
And
then Avery Papinga, who passed dimes all
Dude,
day.
I
It
tried
was
to serve her
crazy. I had no clue going into the day how good of a passer Avery was. And then she passed the first game. I was like, okay, she's a pretty good passer. And like I just kept giving her more and more court. And she just kept passing everything perfectly. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, when we played Evan's team, we tried to serve her like the whole match, and we could not get them out of system at all. It was brutal. Passed everything perfectly.
You had to find Luke every once in a while.
We're gonna post the finals and semifinals here in a second here.
Ooh.
Evan blocked me, I think.
I want to
11
ask that
qualified.
question.
Oh,
I've never seen
man.
Gage get blocked that much by one. I want to hear from you because I don't think you'll play him.
I was going to say, I
Ever
can't
again.
give away my secrets. Come on.
But I'm interested to hear what did you see and what was on the attacks. I've never seen Gage get blocked that much. by
Yeah,
anybody.
so I think just watching fours in general, guys like will mostly just like try and take a certain part of the court and let their defense play around it. But I don't do that at all. I'm just like, I'm going to block every ball. I'm going to try and at least touch every ball. And if my defense gets a dig, it's a bonus. And so I just try and read a lot. For him, he takes it so low that like I can jump pretty late and be on my way up still. And so I was just waiting and like coming up like a Y block and then just waiting to see you don't really like go seam ever. It's like all like sharp. And so I was literally just waiting. And then once I saw your shoulders turn, like one way or the other, because like you have like one way, like you're going in line, and then you like come back the other way, and you can see it. And so I just waited, and then I would just press extra and almost leave the other hand. I didn't even care about the other hand at that point, and just reached over more with the one hand that I saw.
That's definitely something that I've because there have been guys who've got me a few like a little more consistently. It's actually the smaller guys. Like so the guys who have to block later usually something. And I wouldn't say you're small because you're jumping so high, but it's those guys that like the big guys.
You can't see them like
yeah. Exactly.
Like the whole time. I hate playing against blockers like that where like you're like I have no clue where their hands are at.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's a thing where it's like the big block. I can see him. I know what he's gonna do. He's not as fast as you are, and there's something that like for me, I'm never gonna hit over anybody. So it's like a guess. It's not a guessing, but it's a cat and mouse game. So if I have a guy who was on me the whole time, like I don't have the option of going over. It's like he can really get on me quick. You know, Mike on the other hand, he's just going over anybody, so it's a little harder. You have to reach high. For me, you can be a little more. It's two different styles. So I think that's. So I was like, yeah, man, I was like, I'm not really sure where to go right now. And you definitely got the best of me in that game. Oh, you gotta give Joe. Give him the trophy right now. You gotta hold that trophy up. Hold that trophy up. 4 eyes, 4-man.
Like there's the brass
champ.
on. I was going to work on that
It's
thing.
not
the other
small.
night.
Joe polished that thing big time. Yeah, put that bad boy up right there.
Right there, old
4-man champion right there. 4 eyes, 4-man champion. We found this thing. Joe.
This
so
is such a
That
good
doesn't look great right there.
No, it looks
From
great.
our angle, that does not look great, Gage.
No, the camera angle got the real thing. The thing about this thing, we found it in an antique shop. We're like, we should find like a bowl or a chasel. We go into the antique shop, and we literally
the last
turned to our
things you
left.
saw?
We were leaving. And then we were like, no way. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, should we get it? Should we get it? I was like, Joe, if you don't make a decision right now, like we weren't gonna. I was like, Joe, we're getting this thing. We got it. We got it embroidered. So
I like
4
it.
eyes on it.
All in.
But I
all
think, yeah. But before we kind of get in the tournament, I want to hear you guys' thoughts about everything. I know Evan, you're less experienced with 4-man ace, etc. But either Shane or Joey, can you kind of explain the 4 eyes and kind of the tournament, the players that were there, the level, how it is different, and then we'll kind of get into the critique of it and review.
Yeah, so a lot of people didn't like. We've been playing this since December. It's been in the works. Mark Paul Louis, we were in contact about a bunch of different stuff. We had the idea for this event, and originally the day was May 13th, and it was that date until like the end of March. We had to make it late. We had to make a late change, and we were gonna have actually TJ DeFalco was gonna be there, Anders Christian were gonna be there, Hendrik Matthias, and there was gonna be a couple other foreigners that were in town that weekend, and then plus all obviously the American top guys too. And so we had to literally like, because we didn't know we were gonna make playoffs. We made make playoffs. We made make the semis. We made the semis, and then we had to move the date. So we were kind of scrambling a little bit to fill certain positions because we had guys drop. Obviously in June it's tough for a lot of players. So we got Troy, Taylor, Evan in the past few weeks to come on board. And then we had a lot of like the AVP kind of women who weren't going out to Virginia Beach, and then all the guys who weren't going overseas. So overall, the competition level, we got a couple indoor guys to kind of jump on late as well. So we knew that moving it was going to make it a little more difficult to get people out there, especially national team guys who were going to be coming out and beach guys. But in general, I think we did a pretty good job in terms of, I'll let Shano speak more on it, but filling the roster for the event.
Well, in terms of like the level of play in my lifetime of playing 4-man, watching 4-man, in like the format that it was, where it's not like pick your best 4 and go, it's A, B, C, D. That was like the most competitive tournament I've ever played in or like watched. Like it was gnarly. I mean, every team was stacked. There was pro guys, pro level players, women and men on basically every single team. Like my team was the only team I think that didn't have a single professional player on it outside of maybe one other. but it
You
was
just have future professionals on your team.
I don't think so. I mean, we'll see.
Special four-man.
Yeah,
players.
maybe. I don't know if the boys will go do it. Maybe Henry. I think he might, but we'll see. I mean, but we had a lot of fun. Level of play was ridiculously high. Like every team in pool play had battles. Nobody cruised. Nobody had like an easy time. Every match was like hour long, at least for me. Our only 2 wins of the day, we won 11-9, had to come back for both wins. It was not like easy at all. It was so fun. And yeah, I mean, everyone that was there enjoyed it, wants to play again. Like, I think it was an overall success. I think it went great. I was stoked to be a part of it. It was awesome.
The big thing for us is figuring out during Ace, we had planned to do this. We have to figure out a better way to do it. Like for those who don't know, Ace basically really quickly, ball hits the floor without the team touching the ball at all. The team has to finish a beer before they come back on the court. There's a bunch of rules in besides that, but that's pretty much what the gist of the game is. And during that time, there were some teams taking forever to drink at times, and then you had this like pause. So for the crowd involvement and stuff, figuring out like that a little better. We were talking about that afterwards.
Maybe you got to put a clock on it.
Yeah, there should be a beer clock. Also, with people have to commit to drinking. If you're gonna play Ace, you should drink. If you're not drinking,
don't play.
Then either don't play or
Gage.
you should
Me.
Gage. Maybe
You speak direct. You can speak
we take a point away each Ace that you don't drink, or maybe I don't know. We got to
point
figure
away
a rule out.
each ace.
That's too gnarly.
I don't know, man.
I'm not gonna play in the event.
10 aces.
Well, then guess what?
Yeah, Gage wasn't going to play in the event. If it was May 13th, Gage was not playing in the event.
First of all, no,
Because Micah was going to be here.
It was 5 days until I was committed to doing videography. I wasn't gonna play in the event at all because I was like, Ace, I don't want to. You know what? If I'm not drinking, I don't want to like you said. Then you got to put some special rules. I don't like that. I don't like
That's fair.
The event like that. But then Joe's like, you know what? I want to be a B. Guess what, Gage? You're an A. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm playing now. You know.
Wow.
Then,
I mean,
so then
the
so then
brothers,
it just kinda happened.
the
Imagine
brothers
if I was
ending
an
up on
A
the
and then
same
my
team.
back.
That's weird.
But here, you were the one who put it together. You put it together.
Yeah, that's fair.
You put it
That's
together.
fair enough. That's fair enough.
Also, another thing, you probably like, oh, Gage and Joe together. All right, I want to like speak on this, and I don't want to hear your opinion on Ace after this, but like every single team out of the 16 teams that were there could easily have won like a normal 4-man tournament. Like
100%.
Like that's like that, like 100. Like that's like these games. Like you'd be surprised, you'd be shocked. Troy Field, for example, love Troy, future partner. We'll get into that in a second as well. Didn't make it out of pool, number 1 seed.
Brendan Sander
and his stacked team. It didn't make it out of pool. I could go
Jordan
on and on.
Ewert,
and on.
national
Yeah.
team USA guy,
The
with
Cook
Brian
twins.
Cook, Carissa Cook, and Mason Briggs. All 4 of those players have played professional volleyball, or Mason, who will play professional volleyball. That team did not make it out of pool play.
And
This tournament was ridiculous.
And we can go on and on and on. Like crazy how many people didn't make it out of like so many gnarly teams.
Aaron
And-
Kuby.
Yeah, we could just do this all like it's crazy. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like the level of play was just unreal, and then it just was just a grind. Like from the get go, it's usually like you have 1 or 2 gimme games. Usually if you're a good team, but like unreal grind from the get go. But
Yeah,
Evan,
that was like the general perception, like at least from my friend group, who's like a little younger. We're all just turning 21, played in a bunch of 4-mans, but like every one of my friends that normally dominates 4-man do very well. We're struggling through every match. Like normally we have a gimme game in the morning. Like it's easy from point 1 to the end of the day. It was an absolute grind. Like for example, my first match, I was playing with 2 of my best friends who are absolute studs. Luke Turner and Henry Wedbush both play college ball. We went down 7-1 right from the start. I mean, we were getting crushed by Jace Olsen and McKay. Side switch, we figured some stuff out, made a couple like switches, and we finally started to figure it out. Came back, won 11-9, but we took forever. It was an absolute grind. Like, and we struggled through the whole day, but we played good. They played amazing. I set all right. I played a 7 out of 10 in my opinion, maybe a 6. I could have played a little better, but it was pretty fun. I had a great day, and the level of play was ridiculously high. Like Joe and Gage barely made it out of pool.
Yeah.
Almost didn't make it out. If Hayden and if Hayden Boley and Brendan Sander would have beat Surgeon and Watton, you guys probably wouldn't have made it out.
No, we would have won by point differential.
You think?
I asked him about other points.
It was that gnarly though. That was
that
all like
close.
coming
Yeah,
down to
100%.
points. Like
There you go. Another person, Nick Surgeon, didn't break pool.
Nick Surgeon, Dustin Watton didn't break
Baranek and Chavers
Baranek and Chavers
Baranek
didn't
Chavers
break pool.
didn't break pool.
didn't break pool.
That team,
so
I
good.
thought when I
I thought they were going to be really good.
They
That's
were.
like,
They
see-
were. That pool was ridiculous.
Every pool was like
Yeah.
like seeding this tournament was gnarly. Like what were you guys? What were they ranked?
We were 2.
2? So you guys
Yeah.
all right? So we got them right. We were 13. The other team we faced, Gummy Beans, Oliver, Martin, Casey McGarry,
Davis Boley,
Davis Boley,
absolute legend,
and
played
then
out
who
of his
was-
mind.
Katie Spieler.
and Katie
Spieler,
Spieler with
not
the
a
last
D.
place.
That was
Last
who,
place.
Who made her a D?
Yeah, that's
Micah. Like,
She's so
what are we?
good.
What are we doing here? If she's a
her
D,
own cousin.
yeah. I mean, what is happening? She is not a D. That's
don't
for
know.
sure. But her
I
team
don't
was
remember how
stacked.
that
And then they almost hit the finals. It was 13-13 all, and then
Dude, they were up
Some breaks.
13-12, and
Yeah,
you
that's
got
true.
Gage. You ripped off 3 aces.
no,
or
I didn't
2
rip
aces.
3. We got a gnarly point, and then I ripped off 2 aces.
Yeah, you did get a gnarly point.
But Evan, I want to kind of turn to you.
Yeah.
Like first time playing format. What do you, I mean, not first time, but first time like really.
It was my first time doing like the ABCD format. Like I've played FUDs and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But that's like Shane was saying, like, you know, you grab your 4 best guys and then
Right.
you go for it. So like the ABCD format is super, super different from whatever I'm used to. But it's a ton of fun. I mean, I think it's like you've really got to learn how to like get the best out of like each of your players. Like, you know, like you've maybe got like somebody who's like Luke's not very mobile, but like if Luke is like in the right position to pass, he passes dimes. So it's like, where can we put him in the position like best to succeed? Like, how can we like set up defensively to make sure that he succeeds? And like he got so many clutch digs for us throughout the day. Like I'd say we probably earned like 3 points, 2 to 3 points each match off of like somebody just rifled a ball line and he was just standing there and just like scooped it super high in the air. And Rosie was able to get his hands on it. And so like, just, I think I like that part of the format, like thinking about, all right, how do we like maximize what our team's talents are and like minimize like what we don't like, what we're bad at. So I like that part of it a lot.
Yeah, and going off of that, like Joe and Gage, I know you guys probably struggle with this as well. Like my team, our A's like were physically less strong than basically every A we came up against all day. They were either bigger, jumped higher, or whatever. So we all day were like Evan was saying, trying to figure out ways to make plays defensively, get touches, line our guys up in the right spots to get digs where we needed them. And it was like a puzzle trying to figure that out. And Henry and Luke, they're great players. They go to top tier schools, Stanford and Princeton, really smart kids, and kind of let them lead the way on that. And I came in here and there and said what I wanted to say, but they did a great job on that. And wanted to ask you guys how you guys kind of lined up, because you guys both being very short and Mark Marolda, your C, not ever really being a blocker, going up against legit national team guys and winning and getting block touches and making plays. Like, how'd you guys figure that out, really?
Do you want to touch on this one?
Well, our tactic went out the door pretty
Well, you
quickly
gotta
in the
explain
morning.
it. Well, we had in our D was Kayla.
Yeah,
Simmons,
Kayla Simmons.
who's a model now, but she hadn't played for 4 years. I asked her.
Yeah,
She had played for 4 years.
So
she played
4
D1
years.
at
So
Marshall.
4 years she hadn't played at all. She used to be a setter at Marshall.
Yeah.
Though.
Go Terps.
Typically, what we would do is have me block full time.
That's not. That's
And just-
thundering hurt.
The herd.
Yeah, the herd,
Terps
exactly.
are Maryland.
Terps are merit.
Come on, man.
No, typically what we would do is have me block full time, but I like in first match warm ups I jump land and just like a pain to shoot through the bottom of my back. I'm like, oh no. So I didn't block for probably like the next 3 or 4 games after that.
Not until playoffs, right?
Yeah, but the thing is I couldn't move in defense too, so I'm like, you know, none of us are getting that high. I can like kind of like just throw hands up, and at least
better with
Gage can
hands.
move and dig and try to read balls. So I'm
Yeah.
like, Gage, it's better you're back there, I think, and then I can just kind of. But typically that's the tactic we go.
Yeah,
with,
and
like Gage
what
have
I was
free
like,
range in the
I was
back.
watching you guys against Hayden Boley and Brendan Sander and that what was it? Their other guy,
Luke Lamont.
Luke
Luke
played at
Lamont.
San
That kid
Diego.
was really,
National
really good
champion as
too.
well, Club
He was
Balboa
not
Bay.
a bad player whatsoever. He was really good as a C, and Hayden's really good too. Mark is not a blocker at all.
Nope.
But he's really good on defense. So I was really puzzling to me that match. I was watching it.
There
the
was
whole time.
there was one ball in the sharp angle he dug in that match, And I think
Oh,
he like
yeah.
saved it at the top of the net, like all the way on the other side. And I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, that was the most
He's
wild
yeah,
play.
Dude, that kid is such a legend.
Well, let
I
me
love that
explain.
kid.
Let me go into our little. This can go for any small attack or small team out there. So the big thing is, okay, all day we were just getting bounced on. I mean, we were getting
Teams were-
bounced. Like
yeah.
everything that beat us was just destroying balls on us. Because here's the thing.
So Nick
I was
Amato.
up there. Yeah, Nick Amato.
Kind
Unreal.
of has the Worsley Bros number a little bit. Are we gonna admit that?
Oh, an ass
slightly.
championship?
Few matches here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He has a better record.
There's a
versus
lot of
us.
people's numbers.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
a really good player.
We also-
You didn't like that comment at all.
We also beat him more than a lot of other people.
That's
beat too.
absolutely
We
fair.
beat Long Beach.
So did
not
Matt
many
Douglas.
teams beat Long Beach.
Shut up,
In
Matt.
Hawaii, we got him
Douglas.
at least once a year.
A
got
USC
him.
libero.
Yeah.
SMBC,
Swept him.
SCVC.
SCVC.
Dougie.
Yeah.
Dougie
Only that was
Fresh.
the last match,
Should have
though.
played in the tournament.
All right, well, let me kind of
know
get into this,
where he's at
but really
now.
quick. But
Alley.
so our tactic was we're getting bounced on and we're getting hit over. So the thing is me, Joe, and Hurt Joe, me who's libero. Okay, maybe let's say I get high. I'm terrible with my hand. I'm a terrible blocker. I could have my chest over the net and I'd still be a terrible blocker. I'm not good with my because I'm libero. That's not what I do. Same with Mark. Marco's up there. We don't really know how to block. Even though Joe doesn't get high, he knows what to do with his hands at least. So the thing is, we're like, okay. But the problem was Joe's serve got taken away. That's the biggest thing. Usually it's me and
Yeah,
Joe.
he
just
has a gnarly
bombing
serve.
serves. Right?
Normally is a gnarly serve, but
Yeah.
yesterday
Yesterday he was just popping floats in or whatnot. And still we need a float server. We had Kayla,
Laser
we had Mark doing
no,
that.
not laser.
So the problem was we had that. So we're like, okay, we got to get one side out quick. We got to keep siding out, side out, and play gnarly defense and get up. I was like, guys, you guys got to give me as many opportunities to score as possible.
I mean,
because so it'd be like bounce, dig.
Yeah.
And then try and score. If I didn't score, it was just like no, like that was like a bounce,
Against
bounce,
Berkey,
bounce.
dude. Berkey
Yeah,
was
that was
destroying
gnarly.
balls against us.
Dude,
And
he
we're
was-
like,
yeah, it was insane. Everyone watching
And
that match was like, "Who is that dude? Devon Berkey. That guy is unbelievable, and he's a great player." But you guys definitely made him look sweet. Him bouncing balls over your
Oh,
little
for
block.
sure. We made him look very good. But the thing was, it's just got to be steady. You know, steady, and bomb your serve and bomb your serve. Well, at least for me, I was like, if I miss it, I miss it. I'm bombing my serve.
That's how you won that match. You just
Yeah.
went back and rolled your eyes back and unleashed bombs at
Yeah.
Aaron Inskeep.
Yeah.
you got a couple on Bake and a couple on Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
crushed. it.
that's what it kind of came down to. But if we didn't side out quick, your game goes out the window. And then, like I said, we get one dig, we gotta convert on it. And then that's what happened. And that's the problem with Evan over here. He was blocking me all day, so we couldn't convert
Yeah,
on anything.
you guys weren't.
Like, literally, I think I got like 12, 13 blocks on me.
It was ridiculous.
yeah,
I
he
mean,
was- he
I
owned
don't.
me.
I've never seen someone put you in that big of a phone booth ever.
It must be the lefty connection, you know? Like,
I
a lot
know how
of
to
people don't know the
read
lefty. So maybe
You guys
he knows
played
the
with each
tricks.
other in that grass tourney, and you figured your game
Dude,
out.
yeah, dude,
I didn't
so-
even get to. I didn't even get to. He didn't even get to hit. I didn't even get to watch him hit in that tournament.
Yeah, you wish you guys had
Dude,
him.
you remember what happened, man? All right, well, first
Yeah,
of all,
it was
the people.
your ab, right?
Dude, so for those of you listening out here who don't know, me and Evan randomly, it was kind of I hit him up and everything. We played in the Grass Nationals together. We had him literally as our only blocker and hitter, so he would block both ways.
Yeah.
Because it was small court, South Carolina. Don't even get me started on that. I hate it with a passion. And
wow.
dude, small court,
Small
3-man
court is the
grass.
worst.
Oh
The
my
worst,
lord.
The worst. The
Grass
worst.
court, small court.
Oh, threes. It's like playing short
Shout
court.
out the AVP.
Only the AVP does that.
And then, so Evan was our. So we started the day pretty bad actually. I think I hit on the left. Evan
We
hit on the
almost
right.
didn't break pool.
Yeah,
We
we
had
almost
to
didn't
win
break-
our last games.
Yeah,
like
last two games,
last
yeah.
two matches.
Second match, we go.
Gage came from Hawaii. I want to be able to.
I flew from Hawaii to South Carolina during COVID because nothing was happening.
You know, you flew to North Carolina, then you had to drive down, right?
Yeah. And then so it was me and Avery Aylesworth and Evan here. We play, and then I tear my ab. I'm like, I just took one swing. I was like, oh. So I was like, oh. Like, you want to know what happened? I had internal bleeding. Not gonna get any.
Oh my
like,
God.
Literally, what happened was.
Holy
Listen.
shit! I didn't know. You didn't tell me this after.
Listen to this. Through the tournament, I look. I mean, at the end of the tournament, half of the tournament, I look at my ab and a little lower to my ab. I'm not gonna get any specifics here. From here to here, dark purple. Swear to God.
Oh my god.
And
I don't
literally,
wanna- I don't
anytime
wanna
I
talk
tried to
about
hit, I was like throwing. I was like puking. It was in excruciating pain.
That
the
is
entire time.
brutal.
But I was like, you know what? We can.
He couldn't even handset.
And you guys
No,
gave
I was bummed
Andy,
set.
He literally had
gave
to pump
Andy
set.
Baranek and Tay Crabs a game, right?
No, because
No, they
what
were
happened-
close. It was
It
close.
was decently close, but they had.
But
Because
do you remember we should have won the first set, I
Yep,
think.
yep.
And then Taylor had that bullshit call where he like called for a touch off my block, and we had the transition dig. We got a dig, transition to kill, and Taylor was like complaining to the ref that I
Did he
touched
big
it on the
dog you?
block, and the referees
Kind of big dog you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the referees, well, the referees,
He can do that. He
the
does that
referees, because it was
sometimes.
AVP
Not
refs,
him, but like
and the AVP
most
refs
guys.
were like, "Oh, okay, we'll believe Taylor." And I was
Yeah.
like, what?
And then what happened was the problem was also keep in mind Evan was hitting every ball because I didn't set Avery a single ball. He was just passing. I bumped set the whole tournament. Bump set
Front two, bump set
and
back
he
two.
had to go block Andy, block Taylor, block Andy, go hit if we got to dig. He did all the jumping. And 2 days prior, he made it to a 2-day semifinal grass 2-on-2 tournament of the tournament as well. So he was
Oh, so
that,
it's
and
like
then that was the
good.
third day. Oh, he was done. He was a freaking beast. It was unreal seeing that guy.
That's awesome.
You
Well,
need
that's,
to-
I
you
mean,
need
that's
to
a
get-
great
you need to get
story.
that picture
I
up
think I remember that
on
video.
on this somehow with you at the cookout
Oh, yeah,
after
we went to cookout
with the
after.
ice, just like Gage is like lying dead on the sidewalk of a cookout.
like we were all
Lord.
because we had a little team there, and we were all just like,
yeah,
to the
everybody
day.
knows
Yeah,
cookout
of
here.
course.
Just
I went to
we had a
wait.
picture.
Go Deeks.
Dude, it was sick. So that's the experience we had playing with each other. It was sick. It was so sick. You were a beast in that. And then but then we faced each other in the finals and
Yeah.
got the best of me.
Evan scouted you up from that
He
tournament.
knew me. He knew
You
my
well,
tricks.
dude. It
He knew
was
my
gnarly.
tricks.
It's like
It
I can't
was
let these guys win their
unbelievable.
own freaking
Yeah,
tournament,
that's true. A
man.
lot of people got that. We get that. 'cause-
I mean, dude, he was solo. He was basically solo blocking on us until Rosie remembered he was supposed to block in
then
our pool
blocks
play
match
match,
point.
and then he blocks Wedbush match point. I was like, come on, man. Rosie finally jumps, gets a block. First point he jumps. Crazy, man.
before we get a little more into Evan here, I want to kind of ask: is there any reviews, any complaints, anything we can do better? You think, in terms of all aspects of the 4 eyes, what we can do? I was like, okay, because we were thinking about having a qualifier the day before, because a lot of people still want to get in.
We're not thinking.
Thinking we are gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do
Well-
it. Well, let me ask you about that. If we do a
Hold
qualifier,
on.
then does that mean they all get okay? Let's say a team wins, right? A team wins, they get reseeded, or is it that team gets in?
That team gets in.
What
So
do they?
wait.
So what do they? I guess all teams are stacked though. I think.
Is
'cause-
it expanding?
Yeah.
I don't
Is it
know.
only gonna be 16?
So it's only going to be 16 teams,
It'll be
and you're going to
16
make
teams.
people try and do a qualifier to play in a format.
Maybe
I don't think you need the
maybe
elite
we.
people to-
Hold on a second. That's a great idea. And if you get like if we're able to get the stars, which you guys are able to do, like outright, you are. So if we're able to do that, that's a great idea. But that's a whole nother debate. If a qualifier for a 4-man.
You guys don't have to qualify. Like we would still invite
Yeah,
no,
but
we
you-
still invite.
Like, there'll be teams that are
There's
automatically
literally
in.
like 1 or 2.
It'll be like the
teams that
AVP.
Qualify.
It'll be like the AVP
okay.
where there's like auto in and then there's qualifier.
Okay,
It's like
I kind of like
a
that,
lot of the people
actually. That's
who are in the
interesting.
event this year, like, are in the event next year.
No, yeah.
But then it's like we will allow anybody to come to the qualifier.
I like
It's
that.
like if Anders and Christian come in, like somebody gets bumped down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that way, so do we always keep it 16? So it's the elite of the elite. Do we ever push it up? You think?
I mean,
Mark doesn't want. I was talking to Mark yesterday. He's like, you should keep it at like 16 is a good number. for
yeah,
us now."
I mean,
so?
look, it was a really good, I think it was just like that's a great number just because the level of play like from basically all 16 teams was really really good, bar like maybe one team, and like even the team that went
Who's the one team?
I'm not gonna name names.
I don't
I
want
know what you're talking about.
I don't want to do that to my boys, but they had strong nights the night before. I'm not going to out them, all right? Don't make me try and do that, all right? I'm not going to do that. But
You know
anyways,
who you are.
You guys know who you are.
I know.
We're not going to do it, all right? We're not going to do that. But, yeah, definitely, like everyone's been saying, I think the general review, the one complaint that I have, and I think other people's had, is getting more beer on the beach. But, like, that's also, like, kind of not legal.
Are you saying they need?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You
Having
need
to
to
walk over to
bury.
Vista.
You need to bury.
Having
more,
to walk over to
more-
Vista to get beers was
Got you.
great. Like, that was great setup. Vista was awesome. That's, like, a great setup for a 4-man. Like, I've never really seen that, and that was great. But, like, having more beers on the beach would be, like, even more ideal, I think.
So what are the rules on that show?
Well, originally it was gonna be on the Manhattan Beach Pier. So if it was May 13th, Manhattan Beach Pier and Shellbacks is gonna be like ours to use all day.
Wow.
But-
that would have been unreal.
But it depends. It all depends on the dates. Like getting a permit.
But Vista's way closer.
Getting a permit in the South Bay is like it was difficult. We're already on top of it right now, like looking to book the dates for next year. we're gonna have the qualifier that Friday afternoon through the evening, and then that night we're gonna draft the A's actually. So it's gonna
I
be
like
a
it.
drafted.
That's
A.
interesting.
And then we'll play the 16-team tournament on that Saturday. So we'll see. It all depends on availability of the
Athletes.
cities and stuff. And we're gonna try to plan it, but if we try to plan it around all the athletes, like you're gonna go nuts.
No, exactly. You can't do that.
If you try to
like
sit there and
that.
try to plan it out, we're like, this is the date. We'll try to pick a
Whoever
date
can
that
make
generally.
it.
The nice thing is next year internationally for indoor at least. I don't know how this changes with the beach. Olympic year, so everything has to be done April 28th. Like we know
Well,
we have a firm stop date
I was
on
gonna
the,
say,
on the
I
indoor
think
season.
in June-ish is when beach qualifying stops. So like, if you're in that May-June area, you probably will have a lot of guys who are like, well, and girls that are, well, we're kind of out of the race.
So let's
Like why?
do
Like
that.
you're gonna have like maybe
Should go play in this
You're
format.
gonna have like six. You're gonna have like 6 guys, 6 girls, basically probably out,
Yeah.
and everybody else will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like now you have like 6 teams from each side that are kind of out.
Yeah. And
And like Troy and I shouldn't have even been here this weekend, but we're like so new that we didn't even
try and
we
go.
weren't even able to sign up for this tournament because we
You
talked
guys
about it too late.
Yeah, you guys got to go get some points, some futures events. Go.
Do you do it at CB? Can you get points at CBVAs?
Yeah, we don't need AVP points, but like now it's
for
like
international.
trying to go international and like pick up all of those finishes. But like the sign up date for the challenger next week was like it's like a month and a half in advance, and like Troy and I didn't even talk until like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we weren't even able to sign up for the tournament.
How,
But
how did that conversation start, by the way? How did you
Yeah.
guys start talking? If you don't mind us
yeah,
asking.
I mean, Troy had asked me so many times, like at the beginning of the year. And, like,
Turned down, denied.
I was like, dude, I'm set with my guy already. I feel really bad. Like, I mean, I think Troy is a great player, but like I was already set with my guy. Like we'd already like been getting the entire season ready. We had a pretty strong finish to the year before. And I was like, all right, we got to ride this out a little bit, see how this rolls. And then our finishes just kind of weren't there consistently. And I mean, Troy was, he was still bouncing around with guys, just kind of, playing here and there for fun.
I mean, he's bouncing around and getting second.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
It's
He's
pretty
so
absurd.
You got second?
Dude,
he made
him
the
and
final
Billy
in New
Allen.
Orleans.
Yeah.
When?
And they almost beat
They
Try
almost
and
beat.
Came.
Yeah, Try and Came. They went 3 with Try and Came, and didn't they battle Taylor and Taylor as well in another big match? I thought
I wouldn't doubt it.
it was
They
like
went 3, but they got killed in the third set.
yeah. But I remember, dude, Troy's been playing really, really well.
Yeah. But at the beginning of the year, he'd asked me a couple times. Literally everybody in the South Bay is like, you need to play with Troy. I've been hearing that since January.
It's true.
Like I'm like biking down to practice with Logan, and everybody's like, yeah, man, you and Troy, you need to play together. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to commit to my guy and like get better here. And everybody's like, no, you and Troy, it's the move. And then
It's awkward.
I just talked to him the week of Huntington, like right before Huntington, and wanted to lock it down. So after Huntington, we could get things started. And here we are.
Yeah, I like that. I mean,
What do breakup conversations go like? Like how does that? Is it like a
Word by
relationship
word what
breakup?
happened.
Word by
It was
word.
actually-
Like
I'm just
maybe from what you've heard from other breakups too, but what are those conversations like? How do they usually go? Like,
Yeah, I mean, mostly not great. I mean, as you can expect, like somebody's getting bad news. It's kind of like a real breakup, like in
Yeah.
a relationship. I think the beach volleyball aspect of things is so like actual dating. The way that you hear people talk about like their partnerships.
it's-
Oh my gosh, like their body language is so bad towards each other. Like it doesn't even look like they like each other.
The
It's
body
like,
count.
oh my gosh, this person can't play with anyone. And so like it's funny, like just like how similar they are. And yeah, so like the breakup part of it, I tried calling Logan twice and then he didn't answer, so I just sent him a text. And
Oh, did he try to? What do you think? Was he trying to avoid your calls, or was he like?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think he was busy, but like I called like 2 times and they were like 2 hours apart from each other. So I was like, all right, like you're clearly, And like I feel like that's enough to like be like doing an activity
And then
see the
it.
phone call and then doing another activity.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I gave it my due diligence. Cause like I'm not gonna like text him like, hey, you want to meet up in person? I feel like that would just even be worse. Like, hey, let's go grab coffee and then let me go just deliver this bad news and then we leave 30 seconds after.
Did he know it was coming, you think?
I have no clue. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I feel like for the most part it feels like people know, because like the frustration starts building up more and more, and then like you're getting like this random call the day after the tournament.
What was the final straw?
The week before, like the week of Huntington, we were playing a Norseca qualifier and we lost to I wouldn't say a bad team, but a team that in my mind, we should beat 99 times out of 100. And like we got like destroyed, like 21-12, 21-13. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
yeah,
Who was it?
It was Charlie
Siragusa
and Jordan Hoppy.
Wow.
21-12.
Big win by
21-13.
those young guys. Wow. So that was.
And so at that point, I literally texted Troy like after the match, and I was like, hey, let's meet up tomorrow and talk about stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think Troy's a huge pickup for you. I mean, based on what I know, like athletically, physically, points wise, I mean, he has more points than Logan does.
And I think just kind of like experience wise now, like, you know,
big match experience.
he's-
Troy has played in a lot of big matches. He's still working on winning those finals. He's been to a bunch now, though. You could call him a vet now. He's not really a rookie anymore. He's kind of a stud. You know?
And it seems like he's kind of, just from talking to him, kind of changed the mindset of, you know, being like the favorite on tour. He's like, I don't care about like everybody liking me anymore. I care about winning the tournament.
Yeah, it seems like this year he's made more of a switch. Like, I feel like I don't know, I can't speak on this, but I feel like he went to Chase last year, and that kind of vibe and his vibe, they didn't mix really super well on the court. At least
Why?
it didn't look like.
Oh, it did not.
They're different guys. I think.
What is Chase's vibe? I don't know Chase very much.
I mean, I don't know him super well, and I
I
don't
just
think
think
I'd be the best guy to tell you. I
think
don't think
he's
he
just
likes me very
very-
much.
I think he's very to the point with his stuff and like pretty blunt and like, I don't know. That's just, I don't know like very well, but like that's what it seems like with people whenever they play with him and don't like playing with him. It seems like it's pretty blunt, to the point, and like doesn't
He's
do much
just-
to like doesn't put much in like feeling like comforting and reassuring, which I feel like you kind of have to have a little bit. Obviously, like if your partner's not doing their stuff, like you got to chew their ass out a little bit, but like also if your partner's doing something good, it does feel nice to be like, oh yeah, you are playing good volleyball. And I don't think he gives like that reassuring aspect from what I see.
Yeah, I just think like maybe some of that's from the NBA basketball. Like he maybe has a little bit of that mentality in him, and he's an older guy. He's a successful guy. He's done a bunch of stuff outside volleyball that makes him a successful guy. And sometimes, at least I get a sense sometimes when I've played against him in four-mans, he's just not very like open. Like he won't talk to people if he doesn't know you. Like if you I was playing against him, I'm trying to talk to him during a match. It's like not even looking just straight past me, like not even talking to me.
But you're beneath him.
Yeah, basically. I mean, which I get and understand, but at the same time, like, bro, it's a four-man in Hermosa Beach.
have
Like you're
some
not
fun.
special. Like just hang out, be a bro. So that was
Respond to the smack. Respond to the
Yeah, I
chatter.
don't know. Do something, but yeah,
Just give it back.
something.
Need some lip.
I love it, so I'll take it any day of the week from him.
Hey, what's the best? I want to hear both of you, because I know Evan, you can get chirpy too. What's the best like smack talk? What you get? I want to hear. You don't say the worst thing you ever said, but what's like the best thing you guys think you've ever said?
That's a hard question.
I
been
by far
way-
know my most clever line that I've ever said.
I've
wanna
been
hear this.
way
I
out
want
of
to
line
hear this. I want to hear this.
many times.
So, like, it was by far the biggest match that I've ever won, too. And it was in AVP Atlanta last year. You can actually go on, like, I think it's still on YouTube. And the mics picked it up, which was awesome. And so we beat Cayman Theo. And
Ooh.
in the middle of the match, I hit a ball. Like, I saw, like, Theo go to swap my high line. So I, like, low-lined him and, like, full waterfalled him. And then I, like, stared at Cayman and I was like, you see that right there? biggest waterfall in Atlanta came her.
That's good.
I like it.
And
I like
and
it.
like he came to the net. I walked back to serve. I grabbed the ball. He came to the net, grabbed the net, and like stared at me for like 20 seconds.
Like
And-
20.
yeah, and like the referee like
Theo or Kane?
came, and like
Yeah,
the referee
trying to big dog you.
yeah,
course.
and the referee
That.
like was like about to give him a yellow card. Like, you need to get back to like to serve receive.
Call the serve.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
call the
call the
serve.
serve.
Let me serve
Call
him
the
right now.
serve.
If he's serving, he's holding on the net. That's the net still. Too.
Yeah, it's in that. I mean,
That's clever. And
speaking of which, I got a bold take right now. I'm gonna make it right here. Triborn made a mistake.
I'm
gonna keep it at that.
Why you say that?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Try
Try.
you just drop a
For
bomb
leaving
like
for leaving
that.
Trevor.
For leaving Trevor.
I don't see a major upgrade in Kame over Trevor. He's a better at hitting the volleyball. That's about it.
Okay, do you know why they broke up? Does anyone know why they broke up?
I think just
Try just said he wanted to switch up.
something new. I
They
think
were
Try wanted to
winning,
block
though.
full time. Try wanted to block full time.
It
So
isn't.
this is something in beach volleyball that Mike and I were talking about while we were in Europe, and in indoor, because it's like, this is your team. You have to figure out a way to win the championship. Like, you don't get it. It's not like, oh yeah,
You-
I'm
you don't just get to switch teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
ha-
like-
in the
yeah.
middle of
this
the
is what
year.
you're
You
going
gotta
with.
figure it out.
But like you just said with the ABCD format, it's like, this is your team. Figure out how to win. In beach, so much it's just like reaction is drop the partner. Like, it's always just drop the partner. And so, how do like players have like stability and like trust
Yeah,
that
I
somebody's
think-
just
I think for me, looking at it is looking at like my stuff with Logan, because we'd been working on like stuff for like 5 months, and like if you're not seeing progress in your areas of weaknesses and like trying to fix it, then it's like, okay, that's where we like, if there's progress being made, even if it's small progress, and like we're still not like achieving the things we want to achieve, at least there's being progress made and like we're getting better as a team. But like once like that stops, that's where I was like, oh shit, okay, like this, like, and like there's no like breakthroughs happening. Like, okay, we gotta change something up, because clearly this isn't gonna work out. Like,
Yeah. I mean, the thing I notice as a fan is everyone seems like it's more like a personal brand for beach volleyball players, right? Less of like team brands. You get like a Jake Gibb and a Sean Rosenthal who go for 10 years, and then
the LSU girls. I feel like it's like
yeah, they
they're
could
not.
go for
I
a
don't
while.
think they're gonna ever break up.
No.
I really.
Yeah,
don't.
right. Like that's a team that could stay forever for a long time, together for a long time.
everybody still calls them the LSU girls, even though they've been.
Close
think
enough.
We do, Joe. Does everyone call them the LSU?
Almost everyone still calls them the LSU girls
I'm
Even
wrong.
though they're like out of college and
for like 3
our
years
number
now.
2 team in the world, like number 3 team in the world currently, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Who's
It's
number one?
crazy how
Chang and
short
Hughes.
Nuss is, right?
Like
Nuss is,
5. I think she's 5'6".
and she's yeah.
She
She
still can
digs
hit, though,
everything.
That's the thing. She still hits pretty well.
I think people don't pull against her enough.
People.
People-
If you look against, like, I think like watching them, like, historically, they struggle the most against Brazilians, because Brazilians love to pull,
Yeah.
and they're really good at pulling.
For her, I mean, unless it's ball around the net, that's what Mike and I we always just talk about volleyball constantly, as you see. But we were watching and we're like, why are they blocking on that ball all the time? We're like, pull on her way more, force her to beat you with power on like not great situation. If it's around the net, obviously you just grab
Yeah.
the ball. But with her, just they give her, I think, way too much like of her toolbox to use. It's like just pull.
Way
and
too much
force-
court to hit.
Yeah, exactly. Pull and then force her to have.
I don't-
Force her to hit
I
the
was
ball?
talking with Savvy actually about it, and she was like, I forget who she was talking with, but she was like, somebody was saying, what if you just played 2 back defense against her? Like,
Yes.
What would happen? Like what would she do?
I think she'd probably find a way to score.
Yeah, I don't think that.
But
you
like-
got to give her a block every once in a while to like
Yeah.
make her think.
But like, I think
Late
like,
pull,
if it's
like-
like if she's out of system and like, but she's never out of system because she's a really good passer. But like, if she's like somewhat off the net, like, and she has 2 people back playing defense, like that's gonna be pretty tough to score if she's hitting shots.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch the women's game enough to make like a fair, educated opinion on it, but that LSU team, Chang and Hughes, and like the other 3 or 4 teams that are insane. The women's division right now. in the
Sarah and
US
Therese just took silver in
Yeah.
Ostrava. Like,
The women's division is crazy in the U.S.
the women's side on the U.S. is just ridiculous, and it's going to keep getting better
because of the college game.
we just
It's
have a feeder system.
unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, like I have in my friend group, like the people I've hung out with since I was a little kid, I have probably 10 girlfriends that are all like playing and balling out.
Damn,
in college.
Shane the
Not
player,
girlfriends.
10 girlfriends.
Damn, Shayna.
Is that her girlfriend?
I got like 10 chicks.
Back it up. Yeah. There we go. But no. I have like 10 friends that are just balling out. And all playing high level college. My Olivia Bakos, who was on Colton Cowell's team, out of system guy, Hawaii guy. She's a 3-time national champion, and it's pretty awesome. Shout out to her at SC, just killing it, playing unbelievably well. She made it into the lineup this year, but it's like she was a top recruit out of high school, top 20 in the country probably, maybe even top 10. I don't exactly know, but took her literally 3 years to break into the lineup. Like, that's how gnarly it is at SC for women's beach. It's like probably like Hawaii men's volley. It's gnarly.
A lot of guys wiping the floor. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, yeah.
Wiping the floor.
That's the thing people don't realize is, like, at Hawaii, you have 24 guys on their roster. There's a good 10 to 12 guys that are just wiping floors for 4 years. Like,
Yeah, it's
they're not.
But I don't want to get shit. So it's mainly during like for an hour.
Yeah,
or
it's
so,
the
'cause
last
you're-
half of practice.
Yeah, last half practice, you're wiping floors or doing the score or doing statistics.
yeah.
because
I mean,
that's how it is.
yeah, Hawaii culture, man. It's different vibe to everybody else in the country. Some say NIL is cheating. Some say maybe not.
Well, you think NIL? Do you actually think NIL is cheating?
No, but when
I
one
do.
team gets a
Bro.
lot more
I
scholarships
100%
than everybody
I
else.
100% think NIL is
Okay,
cheating.
you went to LSU, you went to LMU.
Yeah,
Well,
but
more-
I think.
Well, in volleyball, it's just
But it
like there's
helps-
gotta
it-
be.
But I think, like, because, like, I'm from the South, and I'm looking at it from, like, the football aspect. And, like, I'm watching these kids that are going to LSU, and they're just making an NFL salary. Like, why would you ever choose a school that's not going to, like, just throw a bankroll at you now? Like,
Well, NIL, like, there's so much more to that, and especially in football. Like, I played Division I football for a year at Wake Forest, and I have teammates now. My old quarterback, Sam Hartman, is now at Notre Dame. I don't know if he's getting a bunch of NIL, but he transferred there for his 6th year. I know my roommate, Gavin Holmes, went to Texas, transferred from Wake Forest, stud CB cornerback at Wake for 2 years, 3 years, and then transferred for his 4th year. He got paid for sure. And NIL's definitely poaching from lower tier schools like that are good programs that develop players like
and
top
like,
tier schools are
and like,
taking them.
I agree that, like, kids, like, need to get paid. Like,
Yeah,
like especially
100%.
like at the, like, the football
100%.
level, like, they're making, like, so much money for these schools, but, like, I think they should be doing it, like, based off of their, like, merit. Like, if you're getting deals and, like, able to do that, but, like, all they're doing is the boosters are just, like, creating nonprofits and then just paying the kids salaries to play.
Boom. Well, let me ask you this. Let me put it in volleyball terms. Let's be realistic here. LMU are not recruiting the same kids as Hawaii, right?
No.
Not
so
a
it's
shot.
exactly. So the thing is also, so you can't really compare Hawaii and LMU. Two different athletes going there,
Yeah.
two different volleyball players. Obviously, Evan, you could add your pick the litter a lot of the time, but Louisiana's hard to be recruited out of.
I was the first person ever out of Louisiana to get a scholarship for volleyball.
That's
So-
sick. That's
That's actually that's a fact.
Yeah.
that's
I
sick.
like that.
That's so sick.
That's a fact.
Louisiana.
Louisiana boy.
So all right, so you're a smaller school. So now, okay, you got kind of your blue chippers, but below that, I think it gives LMU a better chance to get the other than like the other big names. So then obviously you're gonna have your diamonds in the rough like yourself that can throw some money your way now. Now instead of being like, hey, let's come to LMU. Again, no offense, in the middle of nowhere, because when we traveled
there is no offense at
Now-
all. It is in the middle of nowhere.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
I got a few stories when we visit LMU too.
Oh,
but,
man.
I think it benefits LMU more than it hurts
Hawaii
some
going
because
to
you're not
LMU.
okay. You can say,
Dear
you can
Lord,
go
Charlie,
compare.
way to really give yourself a tough schedule.
We can-
Schedule hard next year,
Top
Chuck.
15 RPI every year. Come on, that's top. We're top 15 RPI every year.
Every year. And it's a road win. And if they make the tournament, that's a road win against the teams in consideration. So that's
Dude, I don't want to hear.
No, I
it.
wanna hear- I
How
wanna
about
hear-
you schedule some West Coast teams from the MPSF, Chuck?
They
Come on
did
now.
this year. They beat UCLA at home
And Stanford.
and Stanford.
There you go. There's your two.
And
Big West is the best conference in the nation typically.
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah.
So there you go.
MPSF this year.
This is the first year the MPS non-Big West team has won since the Big West was formed.
That's fair, but also the Big West has had a few super teams recently.
Exactly. And so why would you go outside? It's like asking the SEC to go outside.
It's the
their
same
conference.
thing in
What's the
football.
point?
What are you talking
fair
about?
enough. Fair enough. Fair
Come
enough.
on.
Completely
Every sport
fair.
has
When's the
super
last
different.
time the
Yeah,
FBS
I
won?
saw like
Was
a
Stanford,
a
2009.
photo the other day of like the SEC is scheduled the
you might
least
be
amount
right.
of Power 5 schools out of conference, and I was like, it's because they're playing a top 25 team every weekend when they're in conference.
I
There
mean,
you go. So what's
Like,
the
they
point?
Screw
they
themselves.
need some help.
Like, what's Alabama's first game usually? What's Alabama's first game?
Morehead State,
Exactly. There you go. And
Troy.
You don't have, and volleyball is-
Louisiana Lafayette,
Yeah,
and
Louisiana Monroe.
And you got to realize that Hawaii also plays back to back. All right, I'm usually very critical of the schedule too, but I'm gonna give them some leeway here. Hawaii also goes back to back, right? So you got to think about that. So now you're facing a top, usually 5 team in Big West a lot of the time, back to back nights every week. So you're not playing one. You're not playing just one game. I mean, obviously football is more physically demanding. So now you got to kind of schedule. You got to kind of build up to it, and it's worked. It's worked at the end of the day too.
It absolutely has worked. I mean, Hawaii, there's no doubt about it. Hawaii is current day the best program in college volleyball. Has been for the last 5 years.
And it's the only school that's profiting off their program.
That's very true. It's because of the fan, and that's where this NIL thing comes in. That's where that conversation goes. So the fanfare of Hawaii, it's not an unfair advantage. I guess it's a fair advantage because they have fans. And those fans
Culture.
want to give
Well,
money.
and the community.
Yes.
It
You're
was
the community that wants to invest in the
the
program.
aunties and the uncles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's
The
a-
aunties and the uncles throwing it
You
in.
have
The community.
Chevron. You have like these major
Corporations.
Fortune 500
Yeah.
companies.
Companies that are coming in.
I remember when you guys came and visit. You came and played in the stand sheriff. You guys were like, because we had those big potlucks at the end of the game, right? And you did the same for us, and your everyone's moms and aunties, and uncles. So you guys were amazing. You made this.
It was just all the kids on our team's parents.
Oh
Yeah.
no, no, but that's all. That's what we want. And it was the sweetest people ever. And I remember just like when you guys came and visit. Obviously, you got some guys with southern accents. They're like, wow. Y'all get this after the games. They're like they go.
He's saying that that was me.
That's so good.
It was
That's
me.
evidence.
I was like, y'all get Popeyes? What?
No, and then after the game, they're like, I literally saved I saved all my money from this year and treating this as a vacation because I'm gonna go. Like they had 2 or 3 days to go do what they wanted.
So good.
And I love that, and I loved you guys as a team and whatnot. You guys are awesome. and so for LMU, was it like in like funding in terms of facilities? I mean, you guys have good facilities, but in terms of like,
Oh no, y'all played it.
fans and everything?
We did not get to play in that gym ever. Our actual gym was complete shit.
Dude, we were the
Yeah.
first team. We were the first
Yeah.
non-volleyball team to play in the basketball arena. You guys have
We're
an
the
insane basketball arena too.
Yeah, because
Yes.
our basketball team is like one of the best in D2. Like they're like top 5 every year. So basketball is like the lifeblood of the school. Like the donor, like the walking boot. The guy who created the walking boot was like our big donor, and so like
So
billionaire.
he
just,
funded the
like,
school.
He throws all the money. Like he was doing NIL for all the basketball kids basically before it was legal.
Shout out.
What-
Nice.
oh.
But I remember we played in that stadium, or in the center there, and so many people. They had no idea what
We had like
volleyball was.
4,000 people there, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was
No one knows no one knew anything about volleyball
That's
at
awesome.
all. But the entire town, like everyone showed up. Like I'm sure you're like, there are so many rednecks in here right now.
Oh, no,
what is happening? And like they have no clue what's happening in volleyball, but they're like the #1 team in the nation. Like in D1 is coming to play at our school. We have to watch. This
Yeah.
will never happen again.
Ever again.
Dude, and when I say, dude, in the middle of nowhere, bro, we drove for 2 to 3 hours, bro. It's just barns and burnt down barns, just like land. I remember looking out the window. I was like, what the? Where are we? I'm like,
Playing
what are we doing?
volleyball here.
What are we doing? And here's
Where
the
are
thing.
we playing
We're
volleyball?
literally our school, our campus,
So spread
is
out.
literally it's on the border of a national park. And so like
What
it's
state is it
crazy.
then? What state
It's
is it?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, we're
And
in
so but it's
Tennessee.
the border of Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia. And so on
Ooh.
the Kentucky side is Cumberland National Park. It's crazy. Like literally the border
Yeah.
of our school.
Safest campus in the nation, right?
Safest campus in the nation.
Boom.
I like it.
That's that's your
That's
slogan.
a stat.
No, it's actually that's
Oh,
like
really?
stat. Like it's like actually
Stat
like
it. Boom.
it's a stat.
Dude, you had so
Stat
much
guy.
land, you didn't know what to do with. So the how it's built, it's like grass field, little hill there, building here, grass field, little building here. So their campus was not like one clump; it's spread out.
How
and it's
far is it
huge.
spread out? Like, is it
So,
massive?
dude,
There's a lot of land, but like the funniest thing is there's only like 2,000 kids undergrad.
Oh, so,
And so
What?
Yeah.
It's a high school, dude. It's a high
It's
school.
crazy.
fucking-
And
that's
so like
tiny.
I would like pull up to class like I'd have like an 8 a.m. I'd pull up 7:59 front row parking and then just walk into the class. It was like the best thing ever compared to everyone else's
Yeah,
schooling.
that is true.
Big thing in the town was a Chick-fil-A on campus.
So that was like the
big thing.
biggest thing. We got Chick-fil-A my
on campus.
junior year,
Oh my god, that's a big deal for
but we had nothing
Memorial.
else.
There was literally
We actually had 2 stoplights in the whole town.
dude.
We had a fire barbecue restaurant, Haymakers, fire. And then we had a Subway.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel's across. It was like you drive through this tunnel. So you drive through a mountain. You had to drive through a mountain to get to the town over. And like that used to not be there. So you used to have to like drive up the mountain. You could see like the trails, and it used to take like 2 hours to get across, and they like drilled a hole through the mountain, and it's like a 10-minute drive now. But like there's like Cracker Barrel, and then
JC
like
Penney's.
and then like a ton of fast food, like McDonald's, Wendy's, any fast food chain that you could think of, we had it.
Well,
I
boom.
thought it was cool because on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee, and right when you go through into Kentucky, KFC was the first thing we saw.
It is.
That's cool. That's cool.
I like that.
No, but-
well,
But I'm just saying that's where the NIL helps LMU. Tell me I'm wrong. How would it not help you guys? Because you're not recruiting the blue chippers, so it gives you more of an even playing field.
Chick-fil-A
Fair
on
point.
campus.
It's a fair point.
Chick-fil-A on campus and money.
Huge recruiting tool.
Safest campus.
Safe.
fair enough.
You gotta
No
maximize.
parties allowed.
You gotta maximize those points. You gotta. Oh man, that's awesome.
All right. Well, anything else?
First of all, what's your schedule for Troy, for you and Troy? What's going on now, and what do you guys got coming up?
Yeah, so we have the Pan Am qualifier the Tuesday and Wednesday at the Manhattan Pier this week, and then we leave. I want to say we leave the weekend of the 24th to go to Finland to play a futures, and then we fly back right after the tournament, and then it's Hermosa.
Mm-hmm.
Then right after Hermosa, we fly to Portugal, and then we go Portugal to Canada, and then Canada will probably go back here for like a week, and then AVP, all the Gold Series are like in a row.
All right. So you guys are going full international grind.
Yeah, I mean
You need to get some. Yeah.
we think we have a good chance. Like the U.S. men haven't done what the women have done yet. Like the women are just killing the Elite 16s, and so. I mean, if we do well enough, there's like 7 or 8 challengers at the end of the year, and if we just kind of grind, maybe we can throw our name late into that Olympic mix. But
Yeah, I mean, shout out Sandcast, Travis. He does a great job recapping all the international stuff. Like Try and Came have had a couple decent finishes and a couple really bad ones. Trevor and Theo, kind of the same thing. Trevor, I think I've been more impressed with them so far. Kind of just.
But like if you look at their finishes, like
It's like the same.
But like they're like for like people who don't know like the Olympic system, it's all based off your points in each event.
And
so,
they're
like,
not getting.
in challenger events, all they're doing are taking 5ths and 9ths. Because in the Elite 16s,
They get 13th.
The 13th is the equivalent of a 9th in
Yeah.
a challenger. So it's like they're taking 5th, 9th. Okay, we can go and take a couple 5ths. Then we're right
Move
in the
there.
mix.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
I
if you
mean-
medal in a few of them, then you're like, oh shit, like we can kind of catch them now.
Yeah, and I mean, Miles and Andy are looking good.
I think they're for sure like
They're
number
a
one lock.
Yeah, I think. Well, at least for the U.S. in terms of men's teams, like they're our team that will for sure be there. I'd say most likely, unless there's a major injury, they'll be there. That's my prediction. It's really early. Maybe Try gets on fire, but I haven't seen it so far.
He can do
but
that.
I know he can. He's a monster. So watch out. Kame's really, really good too, but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun.
Also, the good thing about next year is that if you don't make the Olympics, you get to play in the 4i. So there
Exactly.
There we
There you
go.
go. Win-win situation, the way I see it. Who's
gotta
the
Come
real-
defend the
his
title.
crown.
Yeah. Who's the real winner here?
All right. So should we go over like the results of the tournament?
Yeah.
Back
we
to
can
the
wrap up
tournament.
results.
We should wrap up
So,
the
all
tourney.
right, do you guys think? Can we wrap it up? Okay. You guys want to go from bottom or who didn't make it out of pool play? Top.
playoffs.
Okay. So the top, obviously, Evan won.
Evan won it.
Yeah. We
Evan,
came in
Cory,
second.
Sean Rosenthal.
Yep.
Didn't allow double digits all day. That's what my.
That's
I'm
impressive.
gonna
Wow.
allow. Yeah.
Well, all right, but
Our highest score was your game, I think, 15-8.
Tough.
So relative
Hurts worse when you say
was
that.
our match the closest?
11-7
Six?
was our closest.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then no, it wasn't. Never mind. We got 6, I think, against you guys. But
Jeez. So third place, we beat the Gummy Beans with Oliver Martin, Casey McGarry, Bolle,
Davis Boley.
and Katie Spieler.
Yeah.
And then who was
We
the other
beat
semis?
we beat Eric Mihalski and his squad. I really didn't know.
Nate Tennant.
I didn't know
uh,
anyone on that team until
Eric's
we played them.
girlfriend, Tawny
Tawny Stephens.
Stevens.
She's really good.
Really, really
Unreal.
good.
She
And
was
the D,
like
and-
diming
oh,
Rosie Skyfall.
The D was the Santa
Oh,
Barbara kid.
Duncan.
Duncan Backus, kick
The-
serving, playing out of his mind
kid
as a
is
D.
Out of the system.
Not a D. So
That's what he likes to say.
he's
the
out
man.
of system.
He's great for the brand.
He is great for the brand.
Out of
All right,
system.
then
That's
who,
all
all
that
right,
comes
who,
out
are
of
the,
his mouth
who are the
ever.
quarterfinalists? Yeah, your team. Shane
My
Stroke.
team, Luke Turner, Henry Wedbush, Ella Lee. Haven't mentioned her. She plays softball at Harvard. Baller. Really cool to have her
So-
at the tournament.
So does she play volleyball? Because you're the one
Yeah,
who put her
she-
in, and I've never.
yeah.
I don't know her. But does she play volleyball?
She's played at a high level plenty
Okay.
of times. She was fine. She passed all day great. I mean, look, she was our D. We made it to the quarters. We took 5th. Great showing. I was very happy with it.
A lot of good teams together.
Barely made it out. So we were
So
happy
who
with
did
that.
y'all beat in y'all's quarter?
We beat Devin Berkey, Landon, Aaron Inskeep, and then Bake.
Alex Bake.
Alex Bake. And then the other ones were the other quarterfinals who were in our pool: Nick Amato, Hagatron, Matt Hagee,
Team NRG.
Team NRG, panels, Cory, Mathis. And then
Kelsey.
it was
Kelsey.
And then
Yeah.
we played Colton, Sammy
Duker.
Jones, Olivia
Matt-
Bakos,
Matt
And
Duker.
Jack Duker.
And Jack Duker.
Yeah.
And there's so many other like we just went to. I mean,
I mean, we
just,
named
the
a
top
ton of the
8.
ones that
That was the
weren't-
top
Team-
8. That was the top 8, and there was
the bottom 8 were not
like
Teams that didn't make it out of pool
Teams
could've
that didn't
won the
make it
tournament.
out. Like
Yeah.
talk about what team shocked you the most that didn't make it out of pool? That was just
I think he's
surprising.
Troy.
Yeah.
Maybe the Baranic team.
Yeah, Cory.
Yeah.
I two
And
Baranic
Surgeon.
made
I think
Solstice fine.
Surgeon was the one
With
that blew
Dustin
my mind the
Watton?
most.
No, for
No,
me it wasn't
because
certain.
he hasn't
because-
played-
He never played
exactly.
fours before.
But he's so good
Exactly.
still.
Yeah.
But you got to understand
But
he.
it's
He just doesn't know how to play fours.
No.
But now, I think he's gonna play 21st now. a
He's
lot
coming
more.
21st tomorrow.
Oh, really? Is he
That's what he
like?
told us. He loves fours now.
He's got the itch.
Good luck. Here we go. If he gets good, it's gonna be a
He's like,
problem.
I figured out my serve. That's what he told us.
Oh
That's
no,
a problem.
that's a real
This
problem.
guy is everybody you talk to, coaches, players, the gnarliest server of all time NCAA volleyball. And still,
Ever.
Polish league.
ever.
The Polish league right now, he was the top
Which is the
server.
top league, top
he's the
server
top
in
server
the
in the
top
league
league
this
in the world.
He's
If you figure out
What?
volleyball, it's
Well, it's because it's like every single time, it's like what? He's like 70 plus for sure.
and he's in the court.
And he's super far in the court, and every single ball is hitting like the back 2 feet
Yes.
of the line.
Yeah, he's if he gets really good, it's gonna be terrifying.
that's one of the best-
And he also had Dustin Watton on his team,
Yeah.
who's a former Olympian, total stud.
That's
Not
one of the best
Olympian, but
heckles.
Not an Olympian,
world
almost.
champion.
One of the
World
best
champion.
heckles I ever heard was when we were at Ohio State Final Four. We were playing Ohio. They had their student section had a lot of good heckles, but we had Jersen was just blowing our passing lineup this match. He just teed off on us. Got both of our outsides a couple times.
Oh.
Two he hadn't gotten aced yet,
Tui is
and then it just
balls.
goes dead silent after he got an ace the last point. And then some kid from the student section goes, "You're next, Clean." They just go
Wow.
call him Mr. Clean. And Tui got aced like 2 points later.
No way.
Just perfect
Oh
timing.
my
but
god, why can't we get him in the 4-man, dude?
He doesn't
He
play.
only wants to make cookies and get.
Yeah, he
jacked.
only
That's
wants
all
to
he
make
does.
cookies
Dude.
and get yoked. I don't know if you see
I
pictures.
respect
Bro,
that.
just get the cookies as a sponsor next year. That's how you got to get them
Dude,
out.
they
For the
sponsor
luau.
our 4-man grass event.
They
We
should.
need
do
to
it
get him out here for
out
LA.
here.
The Cookie Man.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Way to get
That'd
out
be
of his kitchen.
unreal.
One of his two.
A little
kitchens.
portable kitchen.
Now that Joe brings it up, I have an all-time indoor heckle story. So we're playing North Greenville, and we're on like a gnarly like 5-setter, and they're running 3 balls with their middle the entire match, and like we were shutting them down pretty good, and I remember we blocked them like a huge point in the middle of the 5th set, and one of the kids on our bench brings a chair, bro, to the 10-foot line,
my
and starts.
no way.
And he goes,
Jeez.
"Sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck
Did
down."
he get a red?
Oh my God.
Bro,
Did he get a red?
It was a yellow. It was
No
the
way.
wildest,
No red?
the wildest moment I've ever seen
Wow.
on a volleyball court for sure. I was like, how do we not just get red carded?
Way.
What did Johnny Cash
Bro,
say?
bro, he's like yelled at him.
coach.
He yelled at him in the moment. He was like, "That was the coolest thing ever," but you cannot do that again.
That is
Jordan Wally. I don't know if
Yes.
he lives in Newport.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, Johnny Cash, the greatest coaching name ever. When we
LMU
saw that,
coach.
And he wears the Hawaiian shirt always.
so good.
He's a
Gotta
tour
love
guide,
that.
isn't he? He's also a tour guide.
He's a charter fisherman.
Oh,
That's sick.
awesome.
What else do you
dude.
expect from Tennessee? Nicest guy
Charter
ever.
fisherman
charter
and
fisherman.
LMU's head coach, winning big matches. By the way, this year.
He is such a good coach. So before he came to LMU, he won like 4 state championships in Ohio, which Ohio is
Oh,
a really
God.
good indoor state for the girls because he's on the women's side.
I was about to say, if you were gonna say guys,
No.
I was gonna leave.
No, on the girls side, but the girls side is pretty nasty and like nationwide for Ohio. I think.
Absolutely, Big Ten.
Man. Hey, before we wrap it up, we usually let our guests here, if they have anything to plug, anything they want to talk about, anything that's, we kind of talk about you're going on. If you want to plug anything, Shane or Evan here, give you the time of day here.
Follow me on Instagram. I don't know.
Look at the bio. Good man.
I mean, you don't need
Shane,
to follow me on
Tell them
Instagram.
about your OnlyFans, Shane.
I'm not having an
Actually,
OnlyFans page, Mr.
I do
Joe.
have something. Y'all need to start getting on Gage and Joe. They need to start an out-of-system beach, and me and Troy need to be the team that they go with first.
That they
Like a
sponsor.
You're saying sponsor. How would that work?
We need an
How would that work?
out-of-system. I don't know. I think we just need like a
Dude.
content thing with out-of-system on the beach side fully with the men's doubles.
AVP does not like us, so
Really? AV doesn't like us.
No.
There's a
they
lot
don't
of people that
respond to
don't
anything
like us.
from us. They won't do anything for they won't. I don't know.
Actually, I'm
Well,
gonna
now
ask
you now
Travis
we
about
can-
this.
we can
Travis
ask-
Schoonover.
we can
Dude,
ask
you know
them.
who I asked about Travis?
For you.
about this?
Oh.
Here's something crazy. So I don't get, we're bigger on the grass. We do a lot of grass stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty successful. So it's
Haven't
on the
lost.
grass. So they did like a list, the AVP, and I think Travis. I'm gonna ask him about this when we have a podcast with them. And they did the top grass players. Me, Joe, and Michael were not even in it.
What?
And I was like, okay,
Travis
and I read articles.
Mewhirter?
I was like, okay.
Travis
okay.
Mewhirter?
And I think I don't think it's his fault. I think AVP told him specifically, do not include these guys.
They won't respond to us. They won't do anything.
Because we got into him at Wapaka.
Oh,
We got into it
there's
Wapaka.
that one thing.
With the AVP?
Yeah, AVP.
We didn't get into it.
But they were trying to big ball us.
Yeah,
we weren't
but we
moving, and
pulled
we
the
and we
director.
bring
On
the big
what?
guns
What
on
they
them.
try to do?
So what happened? What happened was we have a relationship with the tournament there, and like the director Tom Galecki, huge shout out. He's the ultimate man.
Tom
And
is
Goat.
awesome.
and Eddie,
All-time
Tom is
goat.
awesome.
they're just the coolest guys. So they've been back and forth on like how much they let the AVP get involved with their event, because AVP tries to come and take over a lot. Obviously, everybody wants a piece on the grass side, just because from a business side they make so much.
It
money.
makes so much more money than
And
beach.
so
Yeah.
and so they're trying to get in it. Always AVP, tries to like hardball them on some things. So they let him in on the beach most years. I can't recall the last year they didn't. But we like have a relationship with them. Like we do a lot of content stuff for them. They let us,
Film and
like and bring a merch tent, and like they don't really
Part of
charge
the deal. The
us
merchant
anything.
is part of the deal.
Yeah, exactly. That's in like the agreement we have with them.
yeah.
And so we come and we set up our second year. We have our merch tent. We're setting up, and the director, it's not the actual director, but it's the director of the tournament there at the AVP. He has like a list of all sponsors that are allowed to be on site. Comes over to us and just starts like yelling at us that we're not allowed to be there. Where's your permit? Blah blah blah.
Whoa.
And he starts yelling at some of our other people who are just there to help us.
yeah,
stuff.
and they're like,
so,
I have no clue, man.
So I step in. I'm like, excuse me, like, what's the issue here? And he's trying to, tell us to get out of here and blah, blah, blah. I said, hold on a second. And I go and get Tom. And Tom comes immediately. And he's like, pulls the man aside for like 90 seconds, comes back. He's like, you guys are good. And
he
then
was-
wow.
from that point forward,
What an
AVP is
idiot.
not
not talk to
Not
you.
talk to you once.
And we're like, okay.
Dude, the
Yeah,
thing
it's
was-
probably that guy checking the emails too. Dude. AVP, man, get your heads out of your butts and figure out how to make beach volleyball Better sport.
How do you? What is your biggest? Before we end, I don't want to get you in
Before
trouble.
we end,
You don't
I
have
think
to-
we've said that
I mean, you don't have to
5
end-
times.
I know, but there's just so much because I know you're obviously a bigger tie. You don't have to answer this question if you don't want. But
Yeah.
Shane, what is the biggest problem with AVP?
Watchability.
I
Now,
think accessibility of watching.
yes, accessibility. People cannot find the AVP. Like, there's a tournament in Virginia this weekend. I don't think there's more than 150 people who know there's a tournament going on this weekend.
And Travis was the only person that streamed it on
Yeah,
Sandcast.
the entire time.
And it was
Players
only his
don't
games.
stream any of their games because they don't want their film out there. It's all a bunch of crap. Same
Guys,
thing.
they're
in-
going to find film on you. Stop being a
Yeah,
pussy
like-
and give the fans what they want.
Exactly.
Amen.
Goes for you too, buddy. You and Troy better start streaming your matches then.
Yeah, you
I'll call you out.
I'll stream. I'll
Good.
stream.
You guys
TikTok
should.
live.
You guys all should. If you
I'm
want
on
this
my
I do.
sport to
I
grow-
think I do the best job streaming out of anybody on
Troy
tour.
does too. Troy with his Twitch, he stopped doing that, but he used to do a great job with his streaming. But the AVP does not they don't put cameras on all the courts, which is mind.
They do now.
Stupid.
They do now.
Well, all of them.
Yeah.
But you have to go to two
But
different
it's
websites,
it's two different apps, which is a lot of people's problems.
and you have to
then
pay for one of them.
You have to pay
which
for
is
one of them. But then,
if you have all of the courts,
yeah.
and-
But then the other one is only on the phone. You can't watch it on TV.
which is ridiculous.
So that was been the bit, and you can't AirPlay it. Like
I
you
know.
can't even
It's a
AirPlay it
problem.
onto your TV. So that's been like whenever people tell me like that's the biggest issue is like, and then for a while it was only on iPhone. Like you couldn't even get it if you didn't have an iPhone. So like that was
it's so
a lot of
silly.
people were like, why like this? Like they have no, and then like there's two different Bally's apps. And like people are like downloading the wrong Bally's app, and so like there's I think a lot of kinks to be worked out in that.
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily call out ownership of the AVP or anything like that, but like,
Rumor has it it's going up for sale at the end of summer.
yeah,
We heard that
probably
rumor
will.
this week again.
I don't think so.
You don't
Okay.
think so?
No, because we talked to like the VP of Bally's that's in charge of it at the beginning of the year, and he's like, "We're planning on riding this out for like 5 years at least."
Well, that's good. I mean, I just think they're kind of not doing a job. They're not doing the job they said they were going to do. They said they were going to promote the sport more. They're not doing that. They're not even streaming these Virginia Beach games. There's no stream of them anywhere. You cannot find a stream of any of those matches at all. I mean,
so promotion-wise, your only complaint is the media-wise.
well,
in terms
I mean that
Access.
like they don't do a good job of seeing people that are like great for the volleyball. It took them this long to sign the McKibbins. How many years have they been doing their work for the AVP basically for free? Not getting paid by the AVP to do it? The AVP took, 10 years to sign them? How many years have they been around? Like, it's insane. That's a joke.
Is that their full-time job?
They do stuff with
We want to
Wilson.
get them on here.
They do a couple different things. Like I know like they do like production for like commercials and stuff like that as well. And I don't think
They're
it's
making
just
it. They're
AVP.
balling.
Yeah.
I mean, that Amazing Race thing kind of just let them take off.
Yeah, that was awesome. And they killed it
They
on that,
crushed
too.
it.
They got second. They should have won it.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. That's tough. And then so in terms of the event itself, the AVP event, like is there any like how they run it? In
I
terms of
think-
the party atmosphere of it.
I
It
think
should
like,
be more of a party.
I
How do you do that though? How do
I
you do
think
that?
this year, I will say like from years past, outside of the watchability, it seems like from a player's perspective, like they're trying to do a better job with everything. Like it might not be working, but they're trying, and like that's where I'm like, okay, like before it seems like everybody was talking about like they didn't even care. So it's like they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to like put things in place. I
trying
know
to get it right.
Yeah, and now they're doing beer gardens. So like in Huntington, they made a beer garden,
That's huge.
which is huge. I
they
think
did.
they're doing it in Hermosa as well,
they should.
and Manhattan. So like I think they're. I
and
think
that,
they're
is that like, do you have to pay for VIP to get the beer?
no.
garden?
So
It's VIP though only because I saw the sign. It says VIP.
on the beer garden. No, anyone can get into the beer garden. You just
Yeah.
have to be 21 plus, and then it's
bad.
like a White Claw, like you buy White Claws and stuff. I think in there.
And can you get beers in the beer garden or just White Claws?
I think I don't know if it's technically a beer garden. I just know it's like a section. It might be a White Claw garden. It might be a seltzer
Claw garden.
Thoughts about that, Shano?
If we're doing a beer garden, the AVP should do a beer garden.
So your complaint with AVP
Oktoberfest.
is not enough alcohol. More
No,
alcohol.
I'm just saying if AVP wants to like do it right and get a big crowd, I think you got to make it more of a kind of like a 4-man vibe or a 6-man vibe.
How do you do that though? Is that with alcohol, or how do you make it more of a party atmosphere like they used to have?
With alcohol,
Bury kegs.
With-
Bury kegs.
with food, with attractive people, both genders.
Jeez.
Did they, wait, did
He
they
just
have?
stared at me when he said that. I was like,
Both
I feel
genders.
targeted.
Hey,
Wait,
there's
so
a
what do you?
lot of things you can do to make the sport more attractive.
So you're
to
saying a
make
little
it
more
seem-
Throw a
risque.
couple models in the tournament.
Exactly. That never doesn't hurt.
Both genders as
equality.
well, 100%,
Exactly.
100%.
Talk about equality. Keep it equal here, everyone.
Bikini contests.
Bikini and
That's a
speedo.
Hovland call. Tim Hovland. If you
That's
ask
what
Tim
they
Hovland
used.
what he
They
wants.
used to do wet T-shirt contests.
I know.
At the
You can't do
At
that now. Now
on
you can't
center
do that.
court.
They did bikini contests at the AVP.
T-shirt.
They used to do wet T-shirt contests.
Can't do that
That's-
now.
We're gonna do. Gage is gonna do a wet
Unbelievable.
T-shirt at the 4 Eyes next
I'll
year.
do it. I'll do a speedo
No,
contest.
please, not you. Come on, dude.
Anybody but you.
Is it, we promote it all week. Wet T-shirt contest, and then we bring him out.
Yeah.
Gage and Shado.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
We tell Hob to come down.
What the hell is this?
Hovland would leave so fast, cussing,
No,
and
but,
yelling.
No, okay, so more of a party atmosphere, more alcohol, more risque at the end of the day. It needs to be more risque.
Not even necessarily.
But that is the beach scene. Like if you
That's
I
what-
was gonna say, I
that's
think
it.
like the roots of beach volleyball are a little bit more of a party lifestyle.
Absolutely. You have to live that lifestyle. You have to embrace that lifestyle. Feels like the AVP is trying to make it something that it never was and never should be.
What are they trying to make it?
Like a corporate kind of like.
Yes.
What I do like is since they hired the McKibbins,
They're telling stories.
they're
finally.
starting to tell stories and starting to try and develop athletes and like kind of like creating these
develop
storylines
some
that people
some
can.
sort of rivalries.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows who doesn't like each other or who likes each other. It's hard for
That should be
fans
more
to
public.
get behind that sort of information. It's hard for fans to get interested if AVP athletes are unwilling or don't care enough to share that information. And you know what? I
think
get it
that's-
because they don't make enough money.
But I
to
think that's some things that people don't get. Like for
Yeah.
me, like social media, like when I watched like
Yeah.
the like success stuff, right? Like I think Casey Patterson was like the best success on the AVP.
In social media.
But like overall then, because basically like if you're like he's a really good volleyball player still, right?
Great
And like
player.
you need to be a really good player still, but in order to get the sponsors, in order to get like the money part.
Sean Rosenthal kind of.
But he was just like
cooler.
he was just before that like era of like
Social media.
social media.
Fair enough.
So I'm talking about the social media era.
Okay, social media era.
Yeah,
Casey
because
Patterson.
Casey, and that's the era we're in now. Like Sean
Yeah.
didn't have to do that. Sean was
No.
just like spectacular.
But he,
like
Sean
superhuman
Rosenthal,
freak.
nobody entertained the crowd
No,
quite like Rosie.
but like that's what I'm saying. Like Casey, like was so good at like doing it on and off the court that
Yeah.
like he became super popular. He was able to get sponsors, and like when you look at like trying to be successful on the tour, it's not just about being a good volleyball player anymore. It's like you've got to be entertaining. Like people like were so upset when Miles and Andy won that they literally just like went and shook hands. Like didn't freak out at all. They were like, "Oh, I'm so composed." Like you just won a tournament, like go crazy.
Yeah, that thing, I've noticed that. Like, that's probably Miles, though. Miles is a special type of human. So what you're going to get is something different with Miles.
Yeah.
So, like, you're just going to expect that. But it's, yeah, that, like, the emotionless players, it's, like, seems like those guys are the best, which is annoying. But it's, like, it kind of doesn't get fans that excited.
No.
Like, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. That's the truth.
Like Pat Beverly and Lance Stevenson should never have been known in the NBA, but they're just irritants. And so they became super popular, but they also make millions of dollars, so it doesn't matter. But that's like the same thing. They just would piss people off and talk shit, and that's how they became like known.
That's true. It's true. It's all about the personalities.
Why
Personalities
is there
matter
no
in the
player
sport.
merch, by the way? Like they should have deals where players get, they get a kickback, but it's like merch of the players, the big names on the tour, so people are like wearing the athletes and stuff. You don't see
If
that.
people want to do that, I have my own merch line.
Oh,
Attaboy,
plug
you
it,
see.
plug it, plug it.
Friscomo.com. I've got I've got it. Brand new line. If you want to look, my shorts in the finals are up there for sale. So everybody,
Already
yeah.
selling those things.
Look at
Oh,
the
you
bio,
get some
baby.
Hawaiian out of system fans that they'll want them.
Oh, yeah.
If you two put up some shorts for sale, I'm sure some of those Hawaiian fans would be very
We do
interested.
put shorts up for sale.
If
People would This obviously people know the slunks for us. They asked for game worn ones, and they were willing to pay Micah one time so much money for off his
Hundreds of.
I should
there's
just
one-
start
thousands.
bringing around all of those
Thousands
shorts.
of
I should just like bring
Get
all
the
of them and just be like, hey,
Yeah.
these were game worn, and they're just like I have like 6 pairs sitting next to me. Like
Stinking.
after the game, I'm like I'm selling like 6 pairs to somebody. Hey, you want my game worn
Just
shorts?
wore these out there.
I feel like Evan wins the tournament. He's on the street with a sign right after.
Game worn shorts for sale, and they're all the exact same pair.
These are the ones I wanted. No, that'd be sick. Shane, you had one more last thing to say or no?
I mean, round it back. Final thing on the tournament. Just want to reiterate: huge success, Joe and Gage. Gage on the content side. Joe with all of the planning and leadership of the meeting since December.
Yeah.
Like literally, we've been talking about this since December. I'm very happy that I got to share that experience with a bunch of my friends too. Like, it was just a really cool experience because like I said, that 4-man was the most competitive format of a 4-man I've ever seen or played in. It was gnarly and it was super fun. Everyone had a great time. High level games all day. Most people, when they got eliminated, stayed around for the playoffs, like because of how exciting it was to watch.
Yeah.
And that's like cool, like that vibe. Drinks, people around wanting to watch. I wish the weather was good. If the weather
That was the only thing.
Oh
I was
my
like, if you could change
God.
one thing about the tournament, can
Dude,
you please
can
talk
you
to the
imagine
weatherman?
if it was
Make the sun come out.
75 and sunny on that Saturday. It would have been. I mean, it was decently packed, but a small tournament, so not a huge crowd, but like big enough, like big crowd. But like, if it was sunny and nice.
What do you
It
think
could
about
be
next
huge.
year doing like a fun division so you can have like bigger crowd at the end of the day built in?
CBC also asked about doing a clinic in the morning.
That's not a terrible idea at all, dude.
Yeah, the issue is with the kids, and then you start having ace going, and then it's like
Stevie
The
was
parents
saying
sitting there with their
Stevie
kids.
was saying you got to teach them how to play ace in the morning, which
Water
just chocolate
bottles.
milk, man.
I like it.
You got to split
CV.
chocolate milk while hit.
yeah. No, there's a bunch of things. To be honest, I gotta
definitely
talk to Mark about how to do it, but we would like to have a mini beer garden on the end, like where that slunks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do like a mini beer garden.
That
It's
would be so
now that we're like able to set the date like now and get permits like
early
early.
get it all like since and now you know how to run. We know how to run it. Like you guys haven't run a tournament like that before.
Yeah.
Obviously Mark did most. Of
Well, the good thing is, the convincing people to come, like all the people, if they told me if they're free, they're in. Like I felt like when I was talking to them like this time, it's like they weren't quite sure what the event was gonna be like, and they were like, it was kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
But, like in general, when we've done events without a system, like we make sure that we are collaborating with people who know what the hell they're doing. Like
Yeah,
Mark
exactly. Yeah,
and stuff.
Mark
and,
Holloway.
and we had like when we went to Hawaii in our luau in a month, 4-man volleyball grass event. It's gonna be sick. That's gonna
Wow.
be another really fun one. We have a team people that we work with that's just like super good at
Hey,
doing
well,
it.
announce your team for that. You're still figuring it out.
We're pending.
We're still figuring that out, to be honest.
Who do we got? Who do we got so far?
Depends on Micah.
We're figuring that out. We have no idea.
So it's just you two right now.
Yeah, me and Joe are on the team. I know
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
We'll see who else. Maybe we'll pick up Evan. Maybe we'll pick up Stroyke. Maybe you're looking at the team right now.
Hey,
Maybe you're looking at the 4-man team here.
this team wins.
I think
This team wins.
Dude, there are some gnarly Hawaii because the Hawaii guys will come over there.
Dude, this team wins.
Yakup
It was
about to
tough
play in
for
it
us.
too. But
I'll
he
play
has to
D.
get a little bit.
I'll hide in the corner.
No, you can't hide in grass.
Yeah, you can.
There's no hiding.
You cannot
in grass.
hide in
Yeah,
grass.
if Gage is passing, you can hide in grass.
Okay. Other than that, but if you're playing defense, you cannot hide in grass.
I'm playing line defense behind Evan.
The offense is a little more intricate in grass.
It's like indoor.
with 3 or 4.
I know.
You can't hide anyone in indoor really that.
No, you
can
can.
a little bit, but it's now.
I think
but
our
of
team
indoor, but
strategy
like you have less
would
defenders.
be Evan runs the 2-ball and then Gage just runs everywhere else.
Yeah.
yeah, Joe.
You do that.
That'd be easy.
Or just say you 2-ball and hit over everyone. That's what we do with Micah.
Micah,
that
Micah
worked.
just goes. He just.
That's what I was
Dude,
doing.
I
Pretty
remember-
much-
block.
pretty
I
much the
remember when you
entire day
guys, dude.
yesterday.
That's a funny story I have. Is my like when you guys invited like Luke, Aiden Peters, and Jordan. You were out to play against you, Micah, and Gage, and grass triples and like COVID or I don't even know.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
a
yeah.
while ago, and they were like, dude. Our heads were like they had never played grass at like a high level, especially against you guys, and they were like, "Dude, that was so like we had no idea what the heck was even happening half the time. It was just like he's here and then he's over here. Micah's going over here, and then Joe's setting back to Gage, who's then setting it to Mike. It was
And then Joe's dumping.
yeah.
And then,
It's like-
but the thing was, what we did last year before we had a grass tournament we were hosting here. What we did last year is we had like multiple teams come and we just cycle through, and their heads were just spinning the entire time. A lot of the time,
so
it was kind
funny.
of
Wasn't that Clark Field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, little pickup.
Clark Field.
That's classic.
No, grass is a lot of fun. I'm so
love grass.
excited. Boat ride in 3-4
Are
weeks.
you excited to coach a clinic during the solstice?
He's gonna be gone during solstice too. And Troy now, I guess.
It's a bummer. We still have enough. Still
Ours
gonna
will
be
at
enough.
least
Yeah,
be-
Solstice
we'll
is
at least
gonna
be
be a
going somewhere
blast.
better than Iowa.
What?
Dirty Davenport is underrated.
Yeah.
Dude, CV
What are you
was
guys doing out
totally
there?
shitting on yesterday.
Oh.
It's like,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
he's
Iowa,
giving-
bro.
Yeah, he's giving it to the boys. He has been for a
The
few
past
weeks.
3 weeks.
Oh man.
That means
Going
he's
to
in-
He's also so
Shrewsbury,
mad.
Davenport, Iowa, to go
He's so
teach
mad
a
we won't pay
clinic.
for 12th Street too.
Oh, why? Did you?
No, he's been pushing for me to go, and
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm with Lions.
dude. Lion stall, 6-man.
Sixers coming up.
Back
I'm
to
gonna
back.
I'm gonna wrap it up
Let's
here.
get-
Oh, no, last few words?
No.
Plugging anything?
Plug.
Come check out his
Plug
MB
it.
Surf
Plug.
kids team.
Yeah,
Plug.
no, you don't need to do that. But if you want to, you can. We're pretty good. I got nothing to plug at all. I don't think.
Follow him.
Follow Shane
You don't
Stroyke.
need to follow me.
Watch his Instagram stories. They'll give you a reason to live.
I might be in the podcast. I might be in the vlog about the 4-man a few times.
Yeah,
Chirping
a lot of
people.
You'll be in
content coming.
multiple
We're-
videos. A
there's
lot of content.
Oh
for Stroyke.
no! Might be in trouble.
We have a good picture of your dad around us, all girls.
All right.
Your dad just sitting in the middle
I'm
of all girls.
gonna wrap it up, Joe. I'm gonna wrap it up. With that being said, shout out again once again to allvolleyball.com. All your volleyball needs, whether you're a pro beach player, pro indoor players, or a pro coach of the Keiki, the kids, the Groms, like Shane Stroker right
I
here.
wouldn't call myself a pro.
On his way to be a pro coach, Shane Stroker.
Maybe. Probably not.
They got all your volleyball needs.
Pro drinker.
Ooze for 20% off. Hit the link in the bio. Also, just remember, if you can't handle the heat, goddamn kitchen. That's been another episode presented by Addis.